For 4 years, Giovanni Guidetti had one answer ready every time someone asked him about Gizem-Örge. He'd tell you it was nothing personal. He'd tell you Turkey simply had other liberos who were just as good, Simge Akaz, Ichar Ikac, and that Simge in particular was doing an incredible job for the national team. Clean, professional, system-based. That was the story for years. And for years, almost nobody in Turkish volleyball believed it. Because before he was the coach leaving her off the roster, Guidetti was the coach who built her. He had Örge at Vakifbank, he had her on the national team, and by every account he rated her. Until sometime around 2018, 2019, when the two of them had a serious personal falling out. Nobody has ever put the exact words of that argument on record. But whatever was said, something broke, and from that point on, Örge simply stopped existing on Guidetti's team sheets. Not for a tournament. Not for a season. For 4 consecutive years, while she was out there winning Best Libero awards in Europe's biggest club competitions, she was nowhere near the Turkish national team. That's the part fans couldn't get past. You don't leave a Best Libero at home for 4 years over a system preference. And in 2020, the story got worse. Turkish Federation officials later revealed they'd actually stepped in and forced Guidetti to bring Örge back for an Olympic qualification camp. A rare case of the Federation overruling its own coach. And then Örge missed her flight. By accident. And Guidetti used that missed flight as his justification to shut the door on her permanently. To a lot of people watching, that wasn't a coaching decision anymore. That was a man looking for an excuse to finish something personal. So that was the public version of the story for years. Guidetti, the untouchable coach with the results to back up his stubbornness, and Örge, the best libero in the world, watching Turkish volleyball from the outside because of an argument nobody would explain. Then came 2022. Turkey went into the World Championship expecting a podium finish, and got swept out in the quarterfinals, beaten 0-3 by the United States. That result did what 4 years of fan outrage couldn't. The Federation had seen enough, not just of the results, but of a coach who kept making roster calls that seemed to serve his ego more than his team. Turkey and Guidetti mutually agreed to part ways. Everyone understood what that meant. He was out. And what happened next is where this stops being just a grudge story, and turns into something close to poetic. Turkey went and bought Daniele Santarelli out of his contract with Serbia. Serbia, needing a coach, immediately hired the newly available Guidetti. 2 national teams essentially swapped coaches in real time. And the first thing Santarelli did in Turkey was put Gizem-Örge back on the team. She didn't just return. She took over. Fans started calling her the defense minister, Savunma Bakami, because of what she was doing on the back row. And in 2023, with Örge as part of the core, Turkey won the Volleyball Nations League. They won the European Championship. And when that VNL gold was secured, Örge stood at the microphone, crying, and said something that turned 4 years of frustration into one unforgettable sentence. That she used to watch the national team from her couch at home, crying, because she wasn't allowed to be there. She talked about her father telling her she'd get that medal one day. And about the people who laughed when she said she'd wear that jersey again. That alone would be enough to close the story. Örge came back, and she won. But the real gut punch came later, from Guidetti himself. After he'd already been fired, after Örge was already back and already winning, he finally admitted the truth in a Turkish interview. He said that at the time, he simply preferred Simge. That her character, her personality, and her skills suited him better. Not that she was better, but suited him. 4 years of a career, explained away as a personality clash he was finally comfortable admitting to. But here's the detail that says more than either of his quotes combined. When Guidetti left Turkey for Serbia, he sat down with Santarelli, the man taking his old job, and gave him advice. And in that conversation, according to Guidetti's own account, he told Santarelli this: that he'd played against Örge's club 25 times in 2 years, that yes, Simge was good, Ichar was good. But you have to see Gizem-Örge, because she is very, very good. He said it himself. Not to the press trying to save face. Privately, to the man replacing him. So the coach who spent 4 years insisting his decision was about system fit and player character, quietly told his own successor to build around the exact player he'd frozen out. That's not a professional disagreement anymore. That's a man who knew the truth the entire time, and let his own pride cost a player 4 years of her career anyway. Guidetti went on to have a rough run with Serbia, stepping away after a disappointing Paris 2024. He's still coaching Vakifbank at club level. Örge is a national team captain, a European and Nations League champion, and one of the most respected liberos in the world. Ego had 4 years to prove itself right. Character just had to wait for the door to open. If this is the kind of story you want more of, the drama behind the scoreboard, not just the scoreboard, subscribe to Volley Girls, and let us know in the comments who you think came out on top here, Guidetti or Örge.